Welcome, everyone. This is another one of our really inspiring and uplifting, heart-powered, inspiring interviews. And as you know, every time we introduce you to an amazing uh, expert, thought leader, entrepreneur, speaker. And today we have an amazing lady with us. And she got introduced through a friend, and the first time I had a conversation with her, she really impressed me with all the things she's been doing and implementing over the years. Well, who is she? She's really a powerhouse. Her name is Gialanze. And who is she? Well, during the last years, she's really worked as a university lecturer and as a head of a unit at a university. She's also set up a private international vocational college herself that was running really successfully. And she's been a consultant to the Minister of Education and Employment in Malta. And, as if that wasn't enough, she also founded an NGO to help women become directors. And as she's saying, it's been a really challenging journey because she also in parallel brought up 3 children, and she was painting because she is, from the bottom of her heart, she's an artist. Well, now she's really able to paint full time, and she's held exhibitions in Malta and also online in collaboration with international organizations in the UK. Well, Michelle, it's really amazing to have you with us today. Welcome.
Thank you, Monica. It's great to be here today.
Great. So, Michelle, why don't we just hop in right away? What would you say right now? You're an artist, but you've also been a really successful entrepreneur. What contributed to your success? What are 3 of your best practices and success secrets that really get you to where you are? What would you say?
Okay. Yes. Well, one of them is definitely time management. You really, when you have such a busy, hectic life where you're trying to put everything together and live, I think it's very important to live too. You need to allocate your time carefully, and that is priority, I think, with me. Time management lists, as boring as that sounds, that is a top-notch priority. Second is, I just mentioned that you need to live a bit. So despite all the pressures and everything that is around us, we still need to enjoy our life. We still need to find space to dream, I call it, where you have the stare out moments and you're able to just let your mind just reel a bit, because it's important. You cannot be constantly looking at your phone, constantly interacting online. The third one is actually to accept failure. Really have to accept failure. I'm not sure if that's the list you were expecting, Monica, this morning, but that's what comes from my heart today. That you have to accept failure, and you have to keep going no matter what.
I love all 3 of them. They're really so critical and often overlooked. I mean, we always look at how do I do things technically in business, right? But let's go into them in a little more detail. So, like time management, you say you need to allocate your time in a smart and wise way. What are some of the best practices on how you make sure you have time for everything that's important to you? Because honestly, I mean, you know what? I mean, being an advisor to the government and then running, an educational institution and being a university lecturer and painting and raising 3 kids, that sounds like a lot. So of course you must be a time management genius. What are some of the best practices or hints that you can share with our audience today?
Okay, and lots of people say lots of things. Some people say as long as you do 80% good, you're fine. Others say you're good doing nothing well because you're doing too much. You hear so much criticism about this, but in my case, it was just, I remember getting some advice many years ago, and this company used to let their employees Friday afternoon organize their time so that they would set up the week ahead, and not on a Sunday, but on a Friday afternoon when they're with their colleagues and they can come up with new ideas and innovation. And then they're prepared for the week ahead and the challenges it comes. And you find that by Monday, you've actually done that list.
Yeah.
And you've added more to the list, and the list is constantly growing. That's another thing. I mean, you have to be prepared that you are never going to get to the bottom of the list. So that's the 80% for me. I'm not getting bottom of the list of the things I want to do.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's so important, really, like if you're ready by Friday afternoon or Friday evening and you know exactly what needs to be done by Monday morning, you're already ahead of everyone else that starts planning on Monday, right? So you also said that it's really important also to, besides being busy, to really have time to enjoy, and you call it the space to dream. I love that. You know, how did you, when you were so busy, how did you make sure that you set the boundaries in the right way, that you had your own space to dream still available? How did you make that happen?
Well, I practice yoga. I mean, everybody has their own way to space, little space in their life and make it happen. Some people call it mindfulness. Some people call it just staring. In my case, it was when the kids would go to bed, finally, after a long day of hassling with life, I think I'd switch on TV and stare for a little while. And then it was okay. It's okay to stare.
Yeah, beautiful. So you just make sure that you always give yourself and allocate a little time to yourself and to unwind, relax, and do whatever gives you energy, right?
Absolutely. Yes. And I really do worry. I mean, I'm concerned because when I see constantly people on the phone is constantly high interaction with even just scrolling and searching. That is taking time for you to stop. It takes away your staring time. It takes away your time to dream.
It does very much. So what do you do? Do you switch off your phone at certain hours, or how do you manage that?
My phone is on silent most of the time. Especially when I'm doing a task. I mean, I put my phone on silent, put it to the side. And sometimes in parts of the day, people who know me well, know that I don't answer my phone. So
yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I have my own little rule because out of experience, I found this. When I was head of a unit, someone called me at 8:30, 9 o'clock. I mean, I have a busy day, and a guy from work called me about a translation, and I still remember it. And I don't know, I put the phone down after the conversation and I had no idea what I said. Because I was exhausted and I said, okay, that's it. After 8:30, I'm not taking work calls anymore.
Yeah, that sounds great. And again, you know, just really setting concrete rules and standards and just living by them is really so important, right? Like, you know, it's same on my side. I have my phone on silent, otherwise I wouldn't get anything done, right? And then, yeah. Okay, great. So also talking about accepting failure. I know that is a big one for a lot of, especially entrepreneurs, right? And also, you know, speakers and experts that always want to be spot on, and then still sometimes they fail, right? I mean, like, you know, I had a failure today already, right? Where I messed up timing. And again, you know, normally to Germans that doesn't happen. But, you know, again, it's just embrace that sometimes we are not perfect, right? So, but what, you know, what does it mean to you, embrace failure? How does it, you know, how are you stepping out there in greater ways and trying things in bigger ways and, you know, reaching for the stars and you know, going for bigger and embracing failure? What does it mean to you, you know, in a bigger way for going for bigger projects that are close to your heart, and then also in day to day, you know, how do you allow yourself to fail?
I agree with you, Monica. I think there's a difference between the day-to-day failures and those that are closer to your heart. I think the failures that are closer to your heart are obviously more painful and harder to absorb. So when it's not, let's start with the other type first. It's easy because you sit back and out of the failure, you look and you say, okay, this is what I learned out of this. This is, I mean, there's no steadfast rule, of course, but you can say, all right, this didn't work this time. So next time I'm going to do this. So chances are that it won't. You're constantly learning, you're constantly striving. From that end, it's fine. When it is a bit closer to you, for example, you really believe in something you've done and you think, okay, this is going to be liked, this is going to work with others, and it isn't. I think there's nothing to do about it. You just brush up and keep going. I think there is brownie points for brushing up and keep it going in life. You have to. You simply have to, because, and also what you see, what you consider to be a success might not be perceived to be a success by others. So time turns and you have to wait sometimes for it to be a success I'll give you an example. When I set up my vocational college in Malta, it was like, how strange, a vocational college, because there's private institutions and people taught, it took a long time for it to people to understand what I was trying to do, but the determination and the perseverance paid off.
Why don't you give us some concrete situation where you feel like, I really stepped forward, no matter if I thought I could fail. How did you, what was a concrete moment when you said, well, it looks like really a failure, but I am not going to give up. I'm going to keep moving forward. Maybe you can give us a concrete example or story.
Yes, with work, with entrepreneurship, it was definitely with the college, because you set up a business school, and it was a private business school which was not heard of, and you go around and you see that your other institutions, your competition are recruiting students, and you're standing at fairs and no one seems to be interested in you, and that is tough, because you know you're paying outcomes and you have to generate income, but you just have to figure out how you're getting your message across and what you are doing to make it more understood as what is passionate to you. With art, it's a bit different, and it hurts a bit more, because when you paint something, you paint it from your heart, and you're generating hopefully a bit of interest. Sometimes people are not ready for what you are trying to say, so it's not easy.
It's about being understood, and art is obviously very expressive, right? And it's also very individual and personal, right? So, and of course, you like people to really, feel what you feel and then see what you see, right? In some way, or see it in a different way. But coming back to your college experience, like when you said I started this, at this college, and it was a different concept, and it was really hard to really attract the right students and get it going. At some point you might have felt it's a failure, right? But what did you do to eventually turn a failure into a massive success, which it finally became?
Yes, I actually set up, within the structure of the school, I set up a Jamie Oliver cooking school at that time, which is something that people can resonate with. A brand, something useful for kids to learn how to eat healthy. And I put across through the school, through the Jamie Oliver cooking school, my own values of what I was trying to do within the other components of the, so people could understand that I was not just looking at education as something that was short-lived, but something that they were going to experience and that they would take with them for the rest of their life. For example, with the business school, I had set up entrepreneurship projects, so that students actually set up their own businesses within the school, which were mentored after they followed businessmen. So it wasn't just about the academia, it was always about the hands-on experience as well. So I found a way to communicate that through something that people already understood and appreciated.
Yeah, it was something that you felt. Eventually you realize that this is what people need and want, right? They don't want to learn theoretical stuff. They really want to actually learn by having the experience, like on the cooking side and then building a business and so on, right? And that is what resonated with people, because they realize that they're not going to learn only theory, but they're actually able to apply it right away and make it happen. So that's really, really powerful. Great. Okay, so Michelle, you are a powerhouse lady. Okay, and you get things done, obviously, and and when we get things done, only then we get results, right? So the question is, what is maybe one of your success habits? What are things that you do day in, day out on a regular basis that really contributes to you being such a powerhouse and so successful with whatever you touch? I mean, it's amazing. You've done so many different things, right? What's one of your success habits?
I'm stopping you a bit, because I never considered myself as a powerhouse. I never considered myself like that. I am a person who enjoys what they do and gets things done. And no matter what it takes to get things done, I mean, the determination I have is quite strong. So I was doing research, and I used to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, or even 4 sometimes, do 2 hours work, go swimming, then have breakfast with the kids. You see, I had everything scheduled, and then get to work. So it was the determination in my life that kept me going. I feel that if you believe in yourself and if you keep on going, you do get results. I mean, they might not seem the results that you think you are going to get, but it's this.
Yes. So what is one habit, one thing that you still do on a regular basis at the moment to remain successful?
I mean, one of the things that I've always done, and when I was really into working with others, is that it's reach out to my network. I love my network. I always have a network of entrepreneurs. There was a huge network of entrepreneurs, which when I mentioned that point where I thought, oh my God, like I've set up this school. It's a huge investment. I had a business partner who was expecting results as well. And I'm not getting enough. For me, that wasn't getting enough. And then you reach out to others, and sometimes just talking to them, listening to them was good enough for me. And I still do that. I still do that even with my art. I have a network of artists I reach out to, and I have a mentor who I reach out to, and I listen to. I think criticism is very important.
Right. Okay. It's really like a habit is really tap into your network, right? Tap into your connections you have, speak to people, stand strong, get advice, right? Yeah, that's
You're not
really
your own. You might think you're on your own, but you are not.
Never, right? Yeah. And it's also why we run this HeartPowered Global Nation. So everyone here, you always can reach out to one of us, right? And Michelle is part of that network now too as well, right? And again, there's always just someone that can just give you that next advice or that tap on your shoulder or whatever you need to really step up in the next way. So what we always do, like Michelle, we have this beautiful habit where we invite everyone, one of our, every time we have a guest in our interviews, we ask you like, what is one thing that everyone that is with us today can apply right away today to really step up with their business or their life in some way? What is this one thing they could do today? What's the one action you would advise them to take today to really turn the inspiration from our interview into concrete, a next step and concrete results? What can they do?
Okay, there's quite a few of one things that come to mind. Yes, but the thing you have to do is do the 10 minutes. Start with the 10 minutes when something can look so insurmountable. You want to set up your own business. You have no idea how to do it. Okay, sit down for 10 minutes every day and start writing, start building the components of a business plan. It doesn't matter that you don't know how to do a perfect business plan. It doesn't matter any of this. What's important is that you do something. Not doing is a failure. I always compare it to when you're a little kid. If we're scared of walking, if we never got up and stood up and fell on our arse again, then we would not be able to walk, because it's fine. I mean, you have to just get up and take those few steps. You'll fall, you get up again, you brush, someone might help you, but you keep going.
Absolutely, I love it. So, I love the suggestion you're giving everyone today. So we invite you, okay, as you are with us right now, think about what is one thing you want to make happen next. And then, just take 10 minutes today, just focus 10-minute action and take one bigger step forward. And that's, that's going to get you there eventually. As I love what you said earlier as well, Michelle, that if you believe in yourself, and you're determined and you keep taking action, you'll get results. Maybe not the ones you're expecting, but often something even greater, right? So we invite you, take that action today, dedicate 10 minutes of your time, share with us in the community, what have you been doing? How did it go? What did come out of it? Okay. As you know, we're always here to cheer you on and to support you as we can. Great, Michelle. I'm sure that there's a lot of them right now that think like, oh my God, I really want to learn more about, Michelle's your business experience and your painting and your art, and how do you really keep living your dreams? Where can people find you? How can they connect with you?
Okay, so my nickname when I was little, it was Misha. So I've created a brand for myself, which is Misha Painting. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and I have a website, which is www.mishapaintings.com. So please reach out to me. I am on email today. You can, which is just my name, michelle.gialanze@gmail.com. And I really like you. I always do.
Great, love it, Michelle. So thank you for being on with us today and all your inspiring hints and tips, right? And all of you, okay, great to have you on our interviews every single time. And again, let's be in touch in our HeartPowered Global Nation in the meantime. And don't miss out connecting with Michelle. And really, she's not saying that about herself. I personally believe she's a powerhouse, actually, with what she does and how she really goes for every dream she has and makes it happen. And determination is her success principle and key. So I love that very much, Michelle. Thank you so much for inspiring our audience today, and thank you all for being on. And we'll be in touch in our HeartPowered Global Nation. As we always say, keep speaking up, scaling up, and impact the world in your own powerful way. We'll be in touch, and have a fabulous day, and see you in our next interview as well. And in the meantime, in our community. All the best, okay? And see you soon. Cheers.
Thanks,